that's the beauty of empathy. When you have that, you listen more. I mean, generally we're taking in information of what we see and hear through several filters. And so you probably did have Juneteenth thrown your way, but it got trapped in a filter. Just like a hundred things that get thrown my way, things that get trapped in these overlapping filters that don't penetrate. And the great thing about empathy is it removes one of those filters and allows more in, and allows more in of, me studying a lot of Asian and Asian American history. Me studying that was like a filter being removed. And being raised in Miami, I see things a certain way that other people do not. And going to Chicago, having to adjust that filter, and then coming back here, and then it's like almost like an optometrist. It's flipping through different filters and be like, oh, that's this. Now I'm going to see it like this. Now I'm going to do this. Now I'm going to add these three things in. Um, I mean, growing up in Miami, personally, and I think for my parents too, and a lot of my friends, due to the schools I went to and where I was raised, usually I don't see things in black and white because Miami isn't like most American cities. It's not only not black and white, it's not even black, white, brown, because Latinos don't want to identify with each other. So you don't group people together. It's not even black because then the Jamaicans don't want to be grouped together with black, with Haitian. So growing up and going to school, it was like, well, no, that's Cuban, Honduran, Mexican, Jamaican, Haitian, black from up north, black from here. This is Jewish. I went to Highland Oaks, it's mostly Jewish, but then this is white. Then this is Orthodox Jewish. And so viewing things was like in a bunch of different varieties, but I am aware, like, yeah, if you go up north or you look at it from, let's say, white eyes, it's like black, white, brown. Like that's their filter. They just put the filter, go black, white, brown. There, I figured it out. But in Miami, it's like, no, I don't. I'm this person's Cuban and I'm Puerto Rican. I don't like this. We're like this person's this and I'm that. And then just so like the more lenses you have, I think the better person you are. Or the more you can take in the world and like flip this lens over. Like now I'm looking at it like this. Now I'm going to look at it like I'm from up north. Uh, and it is the gift of being raised and born here, or living here, is that the diversity, I think, forces us out of that very simplistic thinking and gives us more empathy, gives us more insight, and makes us more open and attuned to the the uh, the details of people rather than the generalities. And so that is what I love about Miami, and that's what I love about like the empathy that I think we're training by just being around different people. And then going to Northwestern, I lived in the international dorm all 4 years, and the international dorm was 40, maybe 50% Asian. So growing up in Miami, there was no Asian population here. So then that experience of like, oh, it's not Asian. This person's Chinese. This person's Korean. This person's Japanese, and they don't really see each other as Asian. They go like, well, I'm Japanese, and you're this, and I'm that. But from Chicago white view, it's like Asian. Like they're all Asian. Somehow Indian doesn't count as Asian, but they just go Asian. Anything light skinned and from that area. But living in the international dorm for 4 years, you see like, oh, this is the way it works here when you're living with people and working with people. So I would say anything we can do as human beings to live and work with as many different people as possible makes us more aware of their history, makes us more aware of their culture, and gives us greater insight into American history and world history as well as ourselves.